So Ruth's father was born in Iran, her mother was born in Chicago, her sister was born in Portugal, and Ruth and the remainder of her two other siblings were born in Nigeria. Some struggles of American teacher who was born in another country were just coming to the new country and kind of not knowing all like the, I guess, normal things that kids do. Some of the examples that Ruth stated were she didn't know how to ice skate, and that all these kids were tossing around a football when she was known to the type of football that you kick the ball around with their feet. Ruth felt that understanding she was a TCK was helpful to her psychological development as she was an adult, was because I guess it kind of gave her a name, put the name to something that she was feeling. And it also gave her kind of a sense of identity, knowing that many other people were related to her, even though they hadn't shared the same experiences. There's plenty of other people that felt the same way that she did. The 7 components that make up Ruth's new definition of cross-cultural kids are third cultural kid, bi/multicultural kid, mixed race, immigrant, refugee, educational, and minority. And the difference in the definition is just different than kind of just the one word thing. It kind of pulls a bunch of people together, because as she grew up, she realized people didn't necessarily have the same scenario as her, but they were feeling the same way. And her definition is a child who's interacted in the developmental age with different cultures in different ways. The 2 biggest challenges that all the kids face are identity and unresolved grief. A lot of the times the identity, they don't, where am I from? Where do I belong? They just can't figure things out, and that's something you really need when you're growing up. And then if it's not the grief, if it's not processed, it's going to come out in all these different ways that you might not even know. 3 coping mechanisms that young people might use to try and adapt could be they might try to normalize their story, find other people that relate, go to conferences. Another example is to celebrate both ends, end of living, every time they move. Some people might do journaling, painting, music, and then parents can help by, talking about them. Ruth discussed a lot having a funeral when you're leaving a place and saying goodbye and all the things you're thankful for. And do I view myself as a cultural kid? No. I'm born and raised in San Diego, never really lived anywhere else. I've been exposed to different cultures through travel and maybe other kids I've grown up with that were from other cultures, but I wouldn't personally consider myself a cross-cultural kid.